there. Thanks for joining me for today's Daily Dose podcast. Our verse today comes out of Psalm 100, verse 2, and it says this: "Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him singing with joy." This isn't a funeral, guys. Jesus is alive. Now, you would think this phrase is a recreation to, or maybe a paraphrase of, the resurrection story found in the Bible. It's not. This is literally one of the things I used to say to our praise teams at practice on Fridays, and usually again right before we began our worship services. Perhaps you can relate. Oftentimes, we approach worship with such seriousness, worry, and maybe just plain old laziness that we put on a straight face devoid of any hint of a smile and trudge through it. This can be the norm from the pews, but it can also be the norm from the front as well. This brings me back to the reminder I give to the praise teams each week. Now, let me clarify. I'm not chastising them. I'm reminding them, and me as well, that we need to sing, preach, teach, and serve with gladness and joy. There's truth in the statement. We aren't attending a funeral every week in the memory of Jesus. We have a risen Savior. I mean, if that's not something to be joyful about, I don't know what is. And we need to act like it. So how do we worship with joy and still remain reverent? Well, it's actually quite simple. It begins with correcting what we perceive as reverent. It's not being quiet, though it can be a part of it. It's not being stone-faced. Reverence has less to do with our actions and more to do with our attitudes. Why are we clapping? Why are we laughing? Why are we smiling? Reverence is about the why behind our actions. Therefore, if we're joyful and God has given us every possible reason to be joyful people, then our actions should follow suit. Joy expresses itself in a pleasant facial expression. Joy expresses itself through passion and energy. Joy expresses itself in the warmness with which we greet one another. Joy expresses itself powerfully through sermons and teaching. And yes, joy expresses itself through the singing of praises to God. This weekend, wherever you may be worshiping, whether at home or in an actual church facility, and by the way, you're always welcome to worship with my home church, worship Him with joy and gladness. Sing with passion and energy. Wear a smile, for our God is alive. Let joy permeate all aspects of your worship experience. Our God is absolutely worthy of it. Thank you once again for joining me for today's Daily Dose podcast. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button in your favorite podcast app, and you'll be notified when new episodes drop. And also do me a favor, share this podcast on your social media with your friends. I would love to have more listeners along for the journey as well. I hope you have a very blessed day, fam. Take care.